It is 10 o'clock and good evening. I'm Cordell Wright. After over 50 years of ownership, today one family is moving on from running a popular pizza place in Brookings. Parker Brown has more details in our top story tonight at 10.
To some, it's a slice of nostalgia. To many, it's a staple here in Brookings. George's Pizza isn't going anywhere anytime soon, but today is the end of an era.
George's Pizza has been around since 1971, but the Theodosopoulos family has owned George's since 1976. One employee, Michaela Myers, was formerly a manager at George's, and now she fills in wherever she's needed. After 16 years working for the Theodosopoulos family, she has seen firsthand how much they have impacted their customers and employees. So much so that they feel part of the family.
It's the stories that you hear. I mean, when people come in here and they talk about going to college here and things that they did with the owners or how they met them or just memories of everything, I just think they've touched so many people in this community.
Plenty of life has happened at George's, which makes it an even more special place. Myers met her husband there, and it's where he proposed. Regular customers like Kevin King have been able to see lives change over his 35 years of going there almost every Sunday.
Family events, people coming to town for the games, people coming to town for family things. This is always the place everybody shows up. To see the waitresses over the years come in here as a young college girl, meet their future husbands, move on, have kids. Instrumental to us and many people's lives.
The family is grateful to have been a part of so many stories, but also to have been impacted by others around them.
It's actually a great feeling. We come across, for example, like when my dad did pass away at his funeral, there was so many past employees through the years that came.
Ultimately, family members say that it just hasn't been the same since Spiro Theodosopoulos passed away in 2016. Moving on will not be easy, but their final week was a great send-off.
The last week has obviously been a testament to how much George's has impacted everybody in the community. We've had an amazing turnout all week. It's just been incredible.
The new ownership remains committed to honoring the legacy of George's Pizza. They have their work cut out for them, but they have community that's willing to support them. In Brookings, Parker Brown, Dakota News Now.